أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Daniel Mehdi. I'm year 6. My topic is about who was Husain. Husain ibn Ali, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, took a stand against Yazid's illegitimate rule, whilst Yazid was in equal parts feared and despised for his ruthlessness. Husain was admired and respected by society at large. Mindful of this, Yazid decided that he would demand Husain's allegiance, hoping to gain some form of legitimacy for his inherited rule. Husain had a choice to make. To endorse Yazid would no doubt mean handsome reward and a life of luxury. To refuse would invariably lead to his own demise. What should he do? What would you or I do? For Hussein, the choice between the easy thing and the right thing was no choice at all. Hussein refused. He said, I will never give Yazid my hand like a man who has been humiliated, nor will I flee like a slave. I have not risen to spread evil or to show off. I only desire to enjoin good values and prevent evil. His life now under threat, Hussein decided to move himself and his family to Mecca, in the hope that Yazid's agents would respect the holy city. As he waited, pondering his next move, message of support began to arrive from across the empire. He left for Kufa, a city in Iraq, but en route he was intercepted by a battalion of Yazid soldiers who blocked Hussein and his supporters from going towards Kufa, and instead forcibly diverted to the desert to town of Karbala. Once they reached Karbala, forces surrounded their small band and blocked their access to the water supply. With both camps stationed at Karbala, a stalemate ensued. Hussein had made it clear that he could not and would not bow to Yazid. The opposing forces of 30,000 soldiers, which vastly outnumbered Hussein's small band of 72 men, and their families were under strict orders not to let Hussein leave. After a week, word reached Hussein that Yazid had sent orders that he was not to be allowed to leave Karbala until he had taken an oath of allegiance. The end was drawing close. That night, Hussein assembled his group, stressing to them that it was his life that Yazid wanted, and that they might be able to escape. Again, Hussein's selflessness shone through. He stood amongst his family and companions, all having been deprived of water in the scorching desert for 3 days, pleading with them to leave him and save themselves. After a few days of this stalemate, the government forces were commanded to attack and kill Hussein and his companions. Hussein's men were vastly outnumbered. The hour of battle commenced. Hussein's companions departed from their camp in small bands, and one after the other, all fighting valiantly before being killed. Throughout the day, the forces of Yazid asked Hussein for his allegiance, yet Hussein resisted. Eventually Hussein was alone, with no one left to support him. Fatigued, thirsty, and heavily wounded, Hussein fell to the ground as the women and children looked on. He too was killed mercilessly, yet he died holding on firmly to his principles, Hussein's victory, and inspiring legacy. After his death, the women and children from Hussein's party were taken captive. His sister Zainab took up the mantle of leadership of the small band and gave speech after speech condemning the action of Yazid and his government, culminating in a confrontation in the ruler's own court. Zainab was perhaps the first person to be inspired by Hussein's stand, using it as a catalyst for change. She refused to be stubborn and put her fear to one side so she could hold to account those responsible for the moral decay of society. Despite the pervasive sexism of society at the time, Zainab managed to lead and inspire both men and women. Hussein's example, that one man can stand alone against an army of thousands, inspired her to point where she castigated and berated a murderous dictator in his own palace, laying the foundation for the eventual overthrow of the Umayyad dynasty. Today, millions of people pay homage to Hussein ibn Ali for a stand and annual mourn the tragic battle of Karbala, in which Hussein, his family, and loyal companions were brutally killed one by one. Pilgrims from all walks of life visit the Imam Husain shrine to pay their respects in the city of Karbala, Iraq.